At a special meeting of the Board of Trustees for the Village of Fredonia duly called and held on the 17th day of October 2011 at 7:42 p.m. in the Trustees Room, second floor, Village of Fredonia, New York, and public notice of the time and place of this meeting has been given to the news media and conspicuously posted in one or more designated public locations in accordance with Section 104 of the Open Meeting Law.
Were members of this board present at the meeting that read the official minutes of the Board of Trustees regular meeting of September 26, 2011, now therefore be resolved the board approves the minutes as entered in official minutes, and be it further resolved that the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Reports.
We have several reports tonight, one from the police department for the month of September. There were 884 incidents reported with 125 arrests, 52 vehicle and traffic, and 79 parking tickets. The second report is the justice report for the month of September 2011. Fees collected $16,386. Total number of cases 217. 109 vehicle and traffic. Criminal cases 33. Village ordinances 45. 7 civil cases and 23 ABC laws. The third report is the fire department report for the month of September. There were a total number of calls of 149, of which 97 were rescue and EMS, 28 were false alarms and false calls, and there were 12 service calls. There were several miscellaneous in there. The final is the clerk's bid opening report, opened on October 6, 2011 for a new diesel-powered trailer-mounted leaf machine and a dump truck-mounted collection box. Bid tabulations are attached to the minutes. If anybody wants to stop, they can review these in the clerk's office.
And correspondence.
Correspondence was received from the secretary of the M.M. Fenner Hose Company to add the name of Roland Rose to the active rolls effective immediately.
Be resolved that Roland Rose, Houghton Street, Fredonia is hereby added to the active rolls of the M.M. Fenner Hose Company effective immediately.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Correspondence was received from the secretary of the D.R. Barker Hose Company to add the names of Edmund Kajawa III and Andrew McKillop to the active rolls effective immediately.
Be resolved that the names of Edward Guyava III, Main Street, Fredonia, and Andrew McKillop, Forest Place, Fredonia, are hereby added to the active rolls of the D.R. Barker Hose Company effective immediately.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
A letter of resignation was received from James Harrington as police officer with the Village of Fredonia, resigning his position effective November 17, 2011 for the purpose of retirement.
Be resolved that the resignation of James Harrington as police officer with the Village of Fredonia is hereby accepted effective November 17, 2011 for the purpose of retirement, and the mayor is hereby authorized to write a letter to Mr. Harrington thanking him for his 33 years of service to the Village of Fredonia.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. I'd like to thank Jim Harrington for all the service that he has given. 33 years in law enforcement is quite a career, and I know that he's got a lot of stories to tell, and he'll be missed. Now I'd like to open the public portion. Would anybody like to address the board this evening?
Yes, Charlie Cibollo, Town of Pomfret. I'd just like to have an update on our engineering firm's position on the study that you guys have done of our engineering for the North End Water District.
I know that Rick talked to Lori this morning. Okay. And with conversation with Lori, the results were she's waiting for a report from SUNY Fredonia. And was there one other report?
Yeah, there was another one from the county planning department she was waiting on. But they were still shooting for an end of October end date to the report.
Would anybody else like to address the board? Yes, Charlie.
I'm here for one thing. I've heard a lot, glad these two fellows are here today. I've heard so much about the senior citizens. I'm just wondering here, when you said 66% of their budget is paid by, or is contributed by the village taxpayer, is that correct?
Well, generally speaking. And I've been looking at their budgets, trying to figure out exactly where it comes in. I know that Mr. Panika did give me a breakdown of how the senior citizens is charged, but doesn't give a breakdown of where the village tax dollars go into that. But generally speaking, 66% of whatever goes into the town budget comes from village residents.
Okay, not as a check from the village, it comes through the taxes.
Right.
So in other words, for the senior citizens, they're taxing the village for the residents towards the senior citizen project,
Right,
correct?
right.
Why wasn't, if that's the case, why were the village of Fredonia trustees or somebody in the negotiations with the church over there to hold them and see if they would stay there?
Right now, we don't even have anyone on the committee of the senior citizens. I know in the past, we had always had a trustee that served on that committee. And further back, probably, you recall better than we did. At one point, I'm sure that the senior citizens was run through the village.
That is correct.
Okay,
That's my number two. Is it possibly that maybe the village can bail us out, the senior citizens, by going back to it and make the village the, what do you call it?
Lead
agent.
The lead agent. Because is that a possibility? And let them pay their share to the village.
Well, I think anything's a possibility. You know, it's, what we're looking at is what's in the best interest of everyone involved. I know that, I did visit the senior citizens. I've been there, you know, on a couple of occasions. The last time I went over there, I went kind of randomly, just to see what was going on. And the whole gymnasium area was filled up with people exercising. And, you know, I did a rough count, and probably 30 people there exercising together. I had coffee with about 19 people. And at the same time, there was a yoga class going on in another room. So that, you know, I took time to listen to the people there. And, of course, you know, I'm trying not to refer to them as senior citizens because most of them are in my age group, you know, so we sat there, we had kind of a lively conversation about some of the activities that take place there. And they were talking about the trip they're getting ready to go on. And I found some vibrant people that are talking about, if it wasn't for the senior citizens grouping, what would they be doing? Would they be-
Exactly,
what would-
exactly. Senior citizens are lonesome people,
Mhm.
very lonesome. They don't go to clubs, they don't go to bar rooms, they go to where their peers are. They spend excuse me, they spend hours with them and they enjoy themselves. I call the senior citizen center up there a home away from home. Get them out of their house so they socialize. Because you don't want them incorporated in their houses all by themselves.
Right.
And so, but again, back to the 66, how much are we talking about in money, in dollars?
I can answer that from our budget perspective.
I want to ask the administrator.
I think your budget reflects about 58,000 total for that, on that budget line.
And that,
So the
the net is about 49, at least
net of,
the numbers I gave you, the net cost, 58 was what we budgeted, but we get some money back from some contributions from the participants in the exercise programs, things of that nature. So that the program cost is $49,000.
That's with the $22,000 revenue, including
23.5.
23.5, and you paid Janine over there 16 or 18,000.
Something like
So
that.
that's where the cost is.
It's the biggest share of it,
Yeah,
I'm here, the village, pleading with the village, come to the rescue. Bail us out.
I know that in the conversations that I had with the seniors, they said, you know, if it's a cost problem, you know, they pay 50 cents per exercise class. They said, you know, they could double that, they could triple that, and, you know, that's never been asked of them. It's never been an option.
Also, they can also pay, when I had the senior citizens, I was treasurer, when the shared care, we paid $10 a year. We used to give the town $2,000 every 6 months for rent at the Eagle Street School.
Mhm.
Why can't we do that again? Go with the $10 for membership. You got approximately 400 members there, you could probably realize about $4,000. I would think that would offset the cost that they're talking about. But what they told the priest, Mrs. Christina, asked the priest about the 3 days a week, was it 2 days a week or 3 hours a day, or vice versa? Where is the senior citizen gonna go for 3 days a week, 2 hours a day? Or 3 hours a week, or 3 days a week, or 3 hours, I don't know, it was something like that. And the priest said, absolutely not, he would not do that. And I'd agree with him, because I'm also a trustee up there, and I would have said the same thing. No, it's gotta be all or nothing.
Right. And I know your experience in government, you know that every time you're in government, you're trying to figure out how to save costs.
Exactly, exactly.
But I think that a lot of what we need to do is get some better communication going. You know, I know that there's probably been an appointment to talk to the high school for using Wheelock School, the superintendent from the school, to look at the Wheelock School, or other avenues or different locations. I know the space that I looked at, I don't know how much space you're renting, but the spaces I looked at, you know, the gym area was completely full when I went in, and they were just finishing up an exercise class. You had the other room with the coffee maker, and like I said, that there had to be, you know, 16 to 18 women and men sitting there having coffee together, so that was full. I didn't look in at the yoga class, but I don't know how many rooms you're renting right now.
They're renting about 6 rooms.
About 9,000 square feet.
Okay.
And also, they got one room over there that they store all their equipment in. So,
Oh,
but,
okay.
I just can't figure out, wherever they go, they're gonna have to pay the utilities. The utilities for our school up there were running $1,973 a month. They were paying $1,900. So the church was subsidizing $73 a month. Just the utilities. That includes snow removal, janitorial services, or maintenance. Did not include any of that. It was just as, if they go someplace else, they're gonna have to pay the utilities at least. And they won't have air conditioning, I think, where they're going. So, I'm pleading with the village. I'm here. Do something.
Kelly, where are they going? I mean, where's
That's them. They won't tell us.
We do not have a designated place yet.
What options
We're
are
still
you
working on
looking
it.
at, Chuck?
Pardon me?
What options, even though you haven't designated?
Churches, and open things like halls that are available during the day. We've talked to the senior citizens, people at the Dunkirk Center as well.
You'd have the people here go to Dunker.
Absolutely, if it was something that was acceptable to Dunkirk.
But how about if the people don't go to Dunkirk then?
They already do.
They already do.
Yeah.
If you were at that exercise program, about 15 or 17 people, the days that you speak of, are coming from Dunkirk, and Fredonia also participates in the Dunkirk program.
Right. Now, I know that there was one comment made that people have tried to go to Dunkirk for special events, and they couldn't even find a parking space, that they couldn't, you know, they said facilities wouldn't handle the type of crowd that you're looking at.
And if you go this morning over St. Anthony's, half of that parking lot was full.
Right, well, I know when I went over there, the parking lot was full. And, you know, maybe what we need to do is figure out a way that other municipalities, I know somebody from Sheridan was there.
There's
And
more
they-
than one person from different vicinities that are coming, Sheridan, Casadega, Forestville, Brockton.
Right,
They use both facilities, Dunkirk and Fredonia, and they've never been turned away, and they never would be turned away.
well, but now you're turning away the whole center.
No, we're not.
Well, you're thinking about
We're
moving
not,
to
we're not,
Dunkirk.
we're not able to pay for the amount of rented space that we were paying for. We asked for a reduction in space and in dollars, and it was not something that they were willing to do. So we have an option.
Did you ever sit down and talk to the seniors themselves?
Absolutely. I've been at that center for the last 2 months, more than anybody else in this room has.
Okay, what did they say, Chuck?
Pardon me, sir?
They said they liked your idea?
One lady told me, I don't care where it is that we exercise as long as we have a place to go. I've even talked to Darwin's, which is a facility that is for exercise, as we all know, and they're willing to accommodate us.
Mhm.
The problem is that they don't want to break up the total group, so we have to find a place large enough for the total group, and the exercise program is the main problem.
Right.
The other things, the pinochle and other things, can be done in different locations because there's not as many people. So we're looking for someone for them, someplace for them to exercise.
Okay.
But it just cannot be done at the cost that it was costing the town.
Now, would you be willing to have somebody from the village on your board?
There's no board, we just,
You don't have a senior citizens committee at all? You just,
no. We just give,
Yes, you do. Pat
we
Christina.
just give the money to the.
Pat Christina is the chairman of that whole committee.
yeah, but is there a committee?
No,
Okay,
just her.
okay. So there's not really a committee?
Whereas, for example, the Dunkirk Center, they have a formal board of directors. We don't. But the city owns that building.
Let me just clarify something. There are 3 senior groups in Fredonia. United Seniors, Charles,
Yes,
Sharon Care,
Right.
and our Pomfret Seniors, Great Belt Seniors.
Right.
The group that houses our facility at St. Anthony's is the Pomfret Seniors. Mr. St. George goes to the Beaver Club for his functions, and the Sharon Care people meet at our center 9 times a year, once a month, not in the summertime.
Right.
So we have 3 fraternal groups who are different, have different boards, have different organizations. We're trying to get them together. That's been part of the issue. Some of his people use the exercise program, some don't. Some only use it for the meeting. So if you look at the dollars we were spending at St. Anthony's, it doesn't make sense for the total amount of people that are using that facility for the rest of the people in the town to pay the taxes that they're paying at $58,000 to support that building. So we have to find some way to fund it. And this all came up from us measuring a couple feet to see how much we were paying per square foot. And the church was very good at what we were paying. It wasn't a lot. It was just too
The rent
much.
that they're charging us, I have to say this over and over again because it sounds like we're squawking about the rent. The rent was reasonable. It was just too much space and too big an annual cost for it to justify the number of people using it.
you got 400 people using the facility.
At what, 400 people at one time, Charles? I've been
No,
in that
no,
building,
that's- I don't care
I've been
what
in that
time.
building for the last 2 months and have never seen
All
more
right.
than
Mr.
30
Sewell,
people at one time.
Can I bring you the history of
Sure.
the senior citizen?
Absolutely.
All right, Mac McCoy, when he had it, everybody remembers Mac McCoy?
Very well.
We had no problem,
Mhm.
okay? He come in, we started a senior citizen group, right in this room, we started it. We went, when I was on the school board, I got the Eagle Street School for the rental, okay? We formed an association called the Shared Care. They wanted to know what to call it. So we called it Shared Care, we had a board of directors, we paid rent, we paid taxes, and dues, we did all of that. Then, when we got transferred from over there to this site we are now, Pat Christina changed the name and got rid of the C. She didn't want the Shared Care. She said we should call it Fredonia Popper, Senior Great Belt or something. And that's where you come in with the 3 groups. Shared Care, there we go. My group was started in 1972, the United Senior Citizens. And all we do is we're just a luncheon group that we get together once a month and socialize over lunch. That's all we do. And our dues are $3 a year, and guess what? They get $4 back. Because we don't belong to a
I
government
think you're
entity.
doing it the right way, Charlie.
Because we don't belong to a government entity.
Well, that's my point. We're spending a lot of money.
No, that's not a lot of money, Charlie.
$58,000 not a lot of money?
No, prioritize, get rid of some money somewhere else. And besides, what Father said in the paper about the $50,000 a month, that was the BOCES, it was $50,000 a year. That's great, man. Remember it was in the paper, $50,000 a month, it's $50,000 a year. BOCES used to say. And they used to have their own janitor, and they used to have their own everything, they did everything.
Would the senior citizens be interested in paying something like that for dues of some sorts, more
Yes,
more
yes.
into it?
Yes, and the Shared Care, they pay $10, they would be paying a portion of that too.
Actually, I spoke to the seniors on that, and they have said that they're interested in spending some of their money to do this
Donating
the
to-
way that they are, so they can stay together. So we are looking for a place for them to do that, and it's not done yet. It's been a long process. I talked to a lot of different members of different senior groups, both in Dunkirk and Fredonia, Brockton, Hanover. Most organizations, in respects to municipalities, don't house a building for their seniors. They give them dollars to each group. If Charles came to the board and asked for money, in Hanover, for example, they give $800 to one group, $800 to another, and $600 to another. And then they find their own places to have their meetings. They don't have a building that they pay rent on. So everybody does it different. And believe me, I've done my homework for the last 2.5 months, and I've talked to a lot of people whose main concern is they do not want to be broke up as far as the exercise program is concerned.
Or anything else.
Did you talk to, superintendent?
Yes, we had a meeting at Wheelock School.
We want-
How'd it work out?
Not
The
good.
rent is just, it's much higher than
Let me check.
Eagle Street, or more much.
As of January 1st, are they evicted? I mean,
As of
We don't
December
have a
31st, they
lease.
don't have a lease.
We've told them that we're not gonna use.
Hopefully, we'll have something in place by then.
And if you don't?
So we'll see what happens if we don't.
So you're ending the lease before you have someplace new to set up?
No, we're ending the lease. We got a 4-month extension when we realized that we couldn't get it done in the 1 month that we
Tell
needed
me
to.
that $58,000 will not be budgeted for next year for that program, so it's not gonna even be close.
Okay, but my question was, you're ending the lease before you have someplace new?
We
No,
have a fail
we have
safe,
we have a 4-month extension to the lease.
So
We
December
did not
31st.
end the lease before we had someplace for them to go.
It's the end of
Okay, so
December.
you have someplace for them to go?
We have an option at this point right now, yes.
Okay,
But they're still gonna pay the lease till December 31st.
Right.
Yes.
okay.
They're still at St. Anthony's on Moore Avenue until December 31st.
Lease expired in August.
All right,
Yeah.
and I know you extended the lease, that wasn't my concern. My concern is, you're saying that they do have someplace else to go right now,
Yes, they do.
okay, but you don't want to share that.
No.
how much prior knowledge will we know what our share of that bill will be?
You don't have a share.
Not one penny of village taxes goes to that center, not one.
That's
That is so misleading.
Rick, tell me,
That is so
when you
misleading, Rod.
pay your village tax bill, how many cents out of that
Rod,
village tax bill
Let me
goes
ask
to
you a
that center?
question though. Every village taxpayer pays what to the town for the town tax?
Exactly, the
related to
town
the-
pays it out of the collect taxes that we collect.
From who?
Townwide or village?
From all of the residents of the
Town.
town of Pomfret, including the village.
There you go. Okay.
But no, you keep claiming that village
No,
people
I
who
didn't
pay.
claim that, Rod.
Okay,
I
that's
just
been
it's
said more than
misleading.
once.
It's misleading what you say, because there's people out there that don't understand
But the village is
the
inside.
town budget and the village budget like you and I do, Rod. And it's smoke and mirrors when you come out and say that the village doesn't pay a dime. That's not true.
I said the village government,
residents-
and that was carefully chosen language because of just what you're talking about. Division
Smoke and
between the
mirrors.
town and the village. It's a distinct difference. I made that difference clear in my article in the paper. That's what offended the mayor, I'm sorry, sir.
Exactly.
But there is a difference. The town of Pomfret government funds 100% of that center. And that includes taxes that we collect from village residents. It
Thank
was
you.
never obfuscated.
Thank you.
Never.
That's all that I wanted to get out there, is that the village taxpayers in this
And
village
I made that
pay
clear
the-
in my article.
No, actually, it wasn't. It was clear to you and I, because you and I know how taxes work in the village and the town budgets.
I don't know how to be
It's
more
not clear, it's not clear to the average person that's out there on the street that we pay 66.5% of the taxes within the townwide budget. It's very confusing for the average person to know that.
They know that there are two governments. I said the village government does not support it. Right? That's simple, clear language.
All right, if that is reduction then, would our taxes go down then? The village tax should go down if they're gonna reduce the reduction in the senior citizens, right? Will they go down or stay the same?
Your
Well,
village
you'd have
taxes?
to
No,
ask-
your
you'd have
village
to-
taxes will not change.
You'd have to look at history when you guys used to run it. When did they take that money out of the budget when we took over the senior center?
What we used to do is, we used to fund, it used to come out of the village fund.
Okay, so
And
what-
the town used to, we were the lead agency, the town would send us a check. Never had trouble with Larry McQuigger or with Stu Dunn.
My point
I thought we got
is, when
troubles
we
now.
took it over and you stopped paying it out of the village budget, did you take that out of your village budget and reduce the taxes in the village?
When we reduced what? We never reduced
Well, if
anything.
if you were funding it before, you said,
Yeah.
so how much was it you were spending to fund it?
Oh, I can't remember 40 years ago.
Well, whatever it was, I'm sure you took it out
I
of the
I think at this time, it's time to call the meeting back to order. And what we'll do is, we'll take that into consideration and further discussion. Is there,
I want to thank you for bringing up possible solutions to the problem as well.
Thank you.
I like it when people have thought the idea through, and not only do they come with a problem, but with different ways to attack the solution. Appreciate that.
The difference originally between what they agreed, what they brought to us, and I got a copy of it, was $8,000 difference. That's what you wanted to give us a reduction. You said if we could reduce it $8,000, that was in the memo, right? We sent it
I'm
from you.
sorry, Charlie, I'm not arguing with you. I don't know why
Okay.
you're pointing your finger at me.
No, $8,000, okay? I wanted to make up that $8,000 by charging the shared care and and charging the people that would go there, we could have made up that difference, and we could have renewed it at the same price.
Charlie, do you know how many members of the Share and Care that you're
Share
United
and
Senior,
Care,
no, you're United Senior people
I'm
use
United
use
Senior-
the facility?
We got 169 people.
How many of them do you know that use the facility?
Oh, probably 100.
Okay,
And,
but
okay.
we need to go on with our meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Does anyone else have anything for the public portion of the meeting? Okay, let's go to resolutions.
Whereas bids for the new diesel-powered trailer-mounted leaf vacuum machine and dump truck-mounted collection box for the Department of Public Works were publicly opened and read on October 6, 2011, and whereas Jack Boland, Supervisor of Public Works, has reviewed the bids and recommended awarding the bid to Old Dominion Brush Company, 5118 Glen Alden Drive, Richmond, Virginia. Now therefore be resolved that Old Dominion Brush Inc. is hereby awarded the bid for the new diesel-powered trailer-mounted leaf vacuum ODB model LCT 650 at a cost of $19,152 and a dump truck mounted collection box ODB model LCB 500 at a cost of $3,800 for the total bid of $22,952.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Be resolved that Christine Decker is hereby appointed the position of permanent full-time assistant clerk to the justice, $18.39 per hour, effective October 17, 2011, with benefits and subject to civil service rules and regulations.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Be resolved on the recommendation of Street Superintendent Jack Boland and Chad Graves is hereby appointed the position of full-time temporary labor at the Department of Public Works for as long as the position remains vacant due to the temporary disability at an hourly rate of $9.50, effective October 18, 2011, subject to civil service rules and regulations, with no other benefits to be given.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Whereas a report of unpaid village taxes for fiscal year June 1, 2011 through May 31st, 2012 has been prepared by the receiver of taxes for the Village of Fredonia, Lori M. Richardson, and whereas the Board of Trustees has examined a list of unpaid taxes and penalties totaling $142,228.02 and found the same to be correct. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees is hereby authorized to sign a collector's report of unpaid village taxes, which is to be submitted by the Chautauqua County Director of Finance in Mayville, New York.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.
Whereas Heidi Frame, Central Avenue, Fredonia, was hired on June 20, 2011, as a seasonal laborer to work with the Fredonia Farmers Market at an hourly rate pay of $8.50 per hour and not to exceed $1,400. And whereas she has reached her $1,400 limit, and whereas the village wishes to continue the current agreement with Heidi Frame on a private contractor basis for the 2011 season. Now therefore be it resolved, the maximum amount to be increased an additional $500 effective immediately, subject to the civil service rules and regulations. No other benefits are to be given.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.
Whereas Jack Boland, Street Superintendent, has recommended the purchase of a new 2011-2012 Komatsu WA 320-6 wheel loader under the terms of New York State contract number PC 65313 from Anderson Equipment Company, 101 Great Arrow Avenue, Buffalo, New York, 14216 for the use by the Streets Department at a price of $140,688.60. Whereas Jack Boland has also recommended the trade-in of the 2001 John Deere loader, no longer in use by the Streets Department, for the allowance of $32,500. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the purchase of the 2011-2012 loader is hereby approved at a net delivery cost of $108,188.60.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Be it resolved that the change order for Estabone Construction Company Incorporated relative to the Temple Church Street curb and sidewalk replacement project is hereby approved for a sum not to exceed $13,387.65.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And a beautiful job that they did.
Yep.
The only thing that I would like to say now is it was brought up recently based on the article that was in the Observer the other day about the vandalism, that a resident of the community is offered to donate toward a reward system. for any leads leading to the conviction of the people that have been doing the vandalism, graffiti, or, other acts of violence in the area. I'm reaching out to the community. If anyone else would like to donate funds to that type of project, we're more than happy to receive the funds, and we'll look toward a system to offer reward for the arrest and conviction of anyone doing vandalism or damage or anything of that nature in the village.
Here, here.
Anybody else have anything for the good of the
Nope.
Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you.